is this working? All right, can you all see this? All right, so we are making a tutorial on how to make a game in case you haven't realized yet. And I will be going over some movement script on how to get your objects to move, or specifically your main character. So let's get started, I guess. So we're going to get started by making a new 2D object. So go right click over here on this part of your Unity. Oh yeah, if you don't have it open yet, open Unity. Okay. So go into this area here and right click. And then go into 2D object, sprites, and then I suppose you could select whatever you wanted here, but we're going to select the square because it's simple. All right, so you'll have this messy thing pop up. So basically, this is a whole bunch of stuff about your square and what it does. For now, we can leave most of this alone. And all right, so let's start by adding something called rigid body to your thing. Basically, it makes it like have collision boxes, I guess would be a way to explain this. Basically, so if something hits it, it can't just walk through it. So let's add that. Search. Use rigid body 2D because this is a 2D game. And what? And that's it, I believe, here. And we're going to get started on adding our movement script now, I suppose. So new script. And player movement. And we're going to wait for this to load. All right, and now we're going to go into our project and edit the script by opening it. Let me move this over here. Oh, that's not good. All right. So this is our movement script. Give me 1 second, actually. Oh, that's not good. All right, so where'd it go? There we go. All right, so we're going to start off by making a variable called move speed. It's going to be a float, which is short for floating point, which basically means it can have a decimal in it. So we're going to I embed it. And then we are also going to put our rigid body into here as well. I didn't put this in the right spot. 1 second. It goes here. And we're also going to add one more variable, and it's going to be our vector. A vector basically is a line that has a force as well as a direction on it. And basically, whenever we want our character to move, we'll apply a vector with whichever direction of movement we need. So Also, we don't need this start thing here. All right, and now this is the update function or method, and basically gets called once every frame, and it runs this. So we are going to have it check your inputs every frame. Right. And we're also going to add fixed update, which works similar to update. And our move method into here. These three things up here import all of Unity's different methods like move, fixed update, update, all of that. Wait, sorry, not move. Move we're making ourselves. All right. And now we're going to define the two things we use here, process inputs and move, because those don't exist on their own. We have to make them. So I didn't do that. So and it's equal to, and make two variables for our x movement or y movement. Oh. All right, so what this first thing will do is it'll check for check for your side to side movement and that up and down movement. I spelled that all right, didn't I? Yeah. All right, and we're also going to, now that it actually checks for that, we're also going to make sure it actually moves, at least to create our vector for it to move. And we're also going to add this thing called .normalized at the end. All right, what this does is basically, let's say you're moving in a diagonal direction, there will be two vectors applied to your character. So like, let's say you're moving at a diagonal up and to the right, like in the direction the cursor is moving right now. All right, you'll have two vectors, one that's going up and one that's going to the right. All right, which will cause you to move significantly faster when moving diagonally like that. All right, so what this dot normalize does is it limits it to the speed of one vector. All right, and we're also going to define our move function. And this also uses a vector. And And I believe that's pretty much it for our script. So from here, we are going to, oh, that's not good. There we go. All right, so from here, we're going to go into our square, going into our player movement script, which hasn't been saved yet because I forgot to save. I'll save. And now we can close this. And we're going to wait for it to load. And I haven't done something right.
Alrighty then, guys. Okay, guys, let's do something special right now. Let's play a game with viewers. Can you guys guess what the bug is? So, Nishant, can you open up your program?
Sure.
I'll also share my screen while I'm at it. So for our viewers, can you guys guess what Nishant did incorrectly in this program? Any guesses? Any at all? I'll give a hint. It comes at the end of each line, normally. Nothing? Well, okay then. Nishant, you forgot the semicolons at some of your lines.
Yes. I believe.
Yep.
Yeah, that seems about right. All right, let's try this again.
Also in process inputs, you forgot the semicolons there.
Wait, did I?
Yep, in process inputs, not that one.
Oh,
Yeah, all those 3 lines.
All right, now let's try this.
Remember to save?
All right. I'll save. And we wait for this to load. So we go into our square, and we can see in our movement script there are 2 variables now. One of which is our rigid body, which we should drag the rigid body we made into here. And the others are move speed that we can set. You can set this to really whatever you want, but I'm gonna. This will just affect how fast your square moves. And let's test this. I feel like I forgot something though. Odds are it doesn't work fully. Oh. Well, I did forget to remove gravity, and there was something else that I'll remember while I'm fixing that. But gravity, we can remove that by changing this 1 here to a 0. And let's try running it now. Sorry about all the lag, I guess. Oh, it worked. So I suppose we're going on to our next person.
Hello everyone, my name is Rin Rizata, and right now we're gonna figure out how to collect, collectibles and record their scores so that you can move on to the next level, if you know what I mean. So let me just share my screen. Okay, so what you see here are the sprites for our player here, and our little sprite, or spirit, which will be used to as collectibles for the player. And we're going to set it up in a way that if you collect 5 of these spirits, then you will move on to the next level. So what we need to do first is add component, and then go to physics 2D, and we need to create a box collider. And once we've done that, we need to add one for the spirit as well. So this will make it so that the player can, touch the spirit instead of passing through it. And one important thing to note is that you check mark this is trigger. This will send a trigger to the code that we're going to write, and it will make it so that it'll let the code know that, oh, the player has touched the spirit. All right, so first piece of code that we're going to write is going to be our selector script. So let me just call it selector. And let me open it. All right, so let's just get rid of all this. So what we need to do first is write an integer called collect, and we're going to set it to 0. Next, what we're going to do is make another line of code here, as public int take damage, and we're going to make another integer called damage. And then we're going to make it so that each time the player touches a spirit, it'll add damage to collect. So in this case, we're going to do collect plus equals damage. Yeah, damage. And then we're going to make it so that if select is equal, or wait, I don't know why it's doing that. All right, what's going on? Oh, okay. All right. So I guess we're just gonna rename this to score. And yeah, so if score is equal to 1,000, so each spirit is gonna be 200 points, and since there are 5 spirits, 200 times 5 is 1,000. So yeah. So if score is equal to 1,000, then we're going to write this line of code called proceed. So what this is going to do is it's going to make it so that the new scene it's going to change the scene to the new scene, and one more thing that's important to note: make sure you put your brackets. Yeah, brackets are really important. A bracket here. And then I'm gonna add a bracket right here. And then uh, okay. And then we're gonna add an ending bracket for this one. Yeah. So next we have to write. We're going to write a void proceed. Same thing we wrote earlier. And then we're gonna write scene manager. So what this is gonna do is gonna open the scene library, which has all the scenes in it. So and after that, we're gonna write dot load scene parentheses scene manager again dot get active scene, and then closing parentheses, and then dot build index +1. So I'm going to show you what that +1 means in a second here. So we're gonna have to make the new scene. So to make a new scene, we have to go to assets, create scene, and then we're just gonna call this level 2, and then we're gonna double click, save first, double click, then go to file, go to build settings, and then you see this number here, that's the build index. So right for the first scene it's 0. And if we click add open scene, you can see that this new scene has been added with a build index of 1. So essentially what the code is doing is adding 1 to the build index so that it changes from this sample scene here to level 2. And then now we go back to our original scene. Then one final thing for the code is that over here, we need to add using Unity engine on scene management, which again like opens the library of scenes. So if you don't do this, then the code won't work. So if I did everything correctly, then make sure you put your semicolons as well. Should work now. But we're not done yet. We still have to write another code. So let me hit Control F to save. Let me X out. And then you can see here that our collector script has been added to player, so that's good. And now we gotta add another script called for the spirit called spirit or wait, called spirit contact. And let's open this. No, let's get rid of all of this. So for this code, you don't need to put using scene manager because you're not. This is just for making the spirit disappear when you collect it. So we're gonna make a variable public int points, and we're gonna set it equal to 200 because as I mentioned earlier, that each spirit has to be worth 200 points. And now we're gonna add void on trigger enter 2D, which is the name of the collider. And then we're gonna add collider 2D and hit info, which will activate the is trigger this thing right here, as I mentioned earlier. And then we're gonna add a bracket. And then we're gonna add if hit info dot compare tag. All right. So before I write this code, I want to show you something. So in Unity, there are these things called tags, and for most of the time you don't really need them, but in this case you will need them. So you will only need to add a tag for the player. So if you click on player here, you will find tag, and then it will be set to untagged, but you have to manually set it to player. So once you've done that, then go back to our code here, and we're gonna call the tag that we just entered, which is player. And then we're gonna add another bracket. And then we're gonna add hit info dot get component lesser than sign collector greater than sign 2 parentheses dot take damage, which was in the other code that we in the collector code. And then we're gonna be calling points. And then to make the spirit disappear, what we're gonna do is type in destroy, then parentheses game object. So I think that should be it with the code. Just check if I'm missing anything here. Yep. Okay. So now let's see if it works. Oh wait, before we run it, we gotta add 4 more spirits here. So let's just copy this, paste it 4 times. And now it should work. So,
Brent, it's Jeffrey here. You mind going back to your code?
the spirit contact one, right?
Actually, collector. Your spirit contact code is perfect, except for a tiny thing, but it's your collector code that has some issues. So then, chat. Does anybody know what the issues Prin is facing are? Any guesses? Well then, Prin, your main error you have comes down to your brackets. Your bracketing is inconsistent. Like, you had the image of the things. If you want to pull up that image, as you can see, the brackets, your bracketing is off.
Oh,
Mind
okay.
fixing your
Hold on.
brackets?
Let me just fix that real quick.
Yep, so you
Is that
actually
good?
bracket after public int score, which should be after public int take damage instead. So you put it in front of the wrong public int.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
it should be a public void take damage.
Okay, okay. Is that good?
See, you got your dotted lines. It's proof that your brackets are not correct. But you have a few more issues. Remember when you changed what your collect variable should be to score? You forgot to change it in one spot. Did anybody see it? Anyone want to type which line Prin has an issue in? It's in the collector program.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, hit save. So you can open up your collector script. See right there, in line number 13, it still says collect.
Oh, okay.
See? And there's actually a few more issues. Anybody know what the issues are? I'll tell you one thing. Nishant had the exact same issue.
The semicolons.
Got a semicolon in line 22. Now if you man going to your spirit's context script, there's something you need to change. By the way, when you xed, you made sure to save, right?
Yeah, I saved.
Good. So, actually, hit info. In line 13, hit info.get component collector. Collector is the name of the other program, but he started that program with a capital C.
Oh, okay.
F8 changed that to capital C collector. And then, in theory, if you save, your program should run.
All right.
Let's see what happens. So, there's a few more issues. You mind double-clicking on the error statement at the bottom? The red line. Can you double-click on it? it'll take you to the spot where the issue is. So the issue is you don't have any code. That's weird.
Yeah, but I just typed the code.
You not save your code? Huh.
I did save the code.
So let's click on this player. Let's click on the player. Let's go to that collector code. Let's double click there. Okay. I think it's because this is a prefab. Since you edited the prefab, those other scripts are causing errors for new scripts. So let's go delete all the scripts you aren't using, okay?
Alright,
so we go to project. Under the hierarchy, right there. Let's go to code. And let's get rid of camera follow. Let's go back to assets. Let's go to prefabs. Not prefabs. Oh, we don't want that.
What?
Okay, you can delete camera follow. Let's go to assets. Let's check scripts. So these are these the ones you just made? Or are these the old ones?
These are the old ones.
So let's get rid of these old scripts. They're causing issues for us.
Yes.
Let's hit File, Save. Let's double click on the error message and see where the error is now. Oh, so we still have an issue over here. That's interesting. Let me take my code and let's analyze. What could Pren have done wrong? So what does the error statement say in Unity?
There's like 6 errors. It's just like type or namespace definition or end of file expected.
So you see assets collector invalid token. Let's double click on the invalid token error. Start there. Invalid token.
This one, right?
On that. Yep. On line 25, let's delete that bracket. And let's put a new bracket there. Because you see, typically when two brackets are connected, they'll form the ... chain you see right there. So I think what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to make your brackets again so they all have the ... appearing. If the ... does not appear, then there's something wrong with the bracketing. So I recommend just creating 2 brackets from scratch and just hitting enter and then putting the code of the 2 brackets. So if you go to line 21 and just make 2 brackets and hit enter between them and hit tab, put it in there. And see what happens. Hit save. So I think the issue is likely a programming issue, but I think it's more specific with Visual Studio. So you like watching at home. What Purin did is technically correct, and you could try to figure out the issue on your own, but there are some in-depth issues that we will sadly not go into depth today, but there are issues. So Purin, you mind pulling up our prefabs of the completed spirit and the completed player? And let's show them the scripts for those instead. Okay?
Alright. Um.
We can make a new scene, or we can put him right here. Since we deleted the collector script, so you have to import this. You have to import the prefab again. So can you re-import it?
Yeah, sure. All right.
Cool.
So should I just copy and paste all of this?
I don't think we have to go into that depth. Let's just use this code and let's just show them. In this code, we have it subtracting, and this is what we would like. So this is the correct code. This is how it should theoretically work.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's take the
Oh,
size.
yep. And let's put the spirit prefab so we can delete the 5 spirits. And let's take our prefab and pull up. And let's duplicate it.
Yeah. So.
You mind
All
double
right.
checking to
Now.
make sure our player has a player tag? Okay.
Yep.
Let's hit play. I believe we still have some issues. So if you go to, can you double click on the issue? I think this is the old code. Old code's having problems. So we're gonna have to delete the old code. Sorry, Perrin.
All right.
I know you
Like
have
all of it.
no, you have to like
Or,
go to Unity and we have to delete the file itself.
oh, okay.
Unity. Sorry, Perrin. I have to do this to you. But we're gonna have to go to your assets. And we're gonna have to like delete your spirit contact and collector scripts. I'm very sorry about this.
These two.
Yep.
All right.
Oh, don't delete level 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't.
And like that, our issue is now fixed. Now if we hit play, we can now move into the 5 spirits and the next scene.
And.
So this, in
Yep.
theory, is what's supposed to happen. So Prin, you want to show them the scripts for the prefabs and show them how they should look like?
Yep.
That's the player movement script.
Oh.
We need the collector script. So yeah.
Yep. So yeah, this is how it should look like, and not like what I did. I mean, I think I did the same thing. I don't know what happened. Probably some typical programming error or something.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah. And then I'll show you the spirit contact one. And yeah, I think that could be it.
Yep. Thumbs up.
Oh, all right. So let's move on to the next person.
Alrighty then, it's Jennifer's turn. Good luck.
I don't know why it keeps showing my face in the stream. Yeah, now it's working.
Okay, guys. Server. Okay, guys, we're gonna take a quick 3-minute, 2-minute break. Okay, so quick break.
Hello.
You're back, so you don't need the break.
Yeah, sorry, my mic wasn't working, and my camera wasn't working.
Okay. So
I think there's just a problem with the call. Okay. So I'm going to be explaining camera follow in Unity. So I'll be showing this. Let me screen share. So I have Unity open, and usually you just add new and a 2D template, but I already have one for this. So this is loading. Okay, so in our hierarchy, we'll go to our main camera, and you can see we don't have any components, so we're going to, well, we don't have a camera follow component, so we're going to add a new script and name it main camera follow and create an ad. So let's click on this and Visual Studio will load. So we have our code here. So the first three is the proper code we need, but if we change it, the code will change, so we need to keep this. Then we have our public class. We have to keep this too. But after this, we have to change all of this. So we're going to rewrite this to fit our camera follow. So first, we're going to do public transform player and public vector 3 offset. I'm going to write here and then good fix date and close parentheses, and then we add another bracket here, and then what's important here is where our camera is going to be equals the player position plus offset. And this means that our camera position will follow
our player position. And these brackets should be correct. So I think everything is good. So once you're done writing this, you're going to want to press save and then go back to Unity. It's going to update. And then once we're here, we have Unity and we have to test if our main camera works. So first we have to have a player. So let's add a 2D object, sprites, and let's have a square. And that'll be our player. So in our main camera, we're going to go down and go to our main camera follow script. And we'll go to player, but it says there's none, so we have to add our player. So we're going to click this plus sign, and then we'll add our square and double click. And then once we do that, we still have to set our offset. So what this does is that it makes sure we can see our like player and map properly, because this is 2D. So we can just set it to a negative number and then press add component, or yeah, it should work. And then I'm going to add another circle, so then we can see if we are moving around. So yeah, scene. So now we're in scene when we have our player, the square, and then we have our circle, and let's see if we move around and if our camera follows us. So I press play and I'm in. I need to make my player move. It should be a square. Okay, let's go to our square and let's add okay. We're going to use a player prefab. So I'll drag this into our hierarchy, and then if we press play, okay, this is our player, and we need to make our player a lot bigger. And let's put our player right here. And let's hit play. Or wait, before that, I need to go to my main camera and make it so the player is the player for the main camera follow script. So now I should be able to do it. So as you can see, I'm moving my arrow keys around and the main camera is following it. You can see that I'm moving right, left, up, and down, and the camera is following. So that's it.
Hey guys, so Boon's here, great.
All right. Hello. So now I will be talking about how to change scenes in the game. So let's get started. So we click on this new project, 2D, and create project. So it'll take some time to open, but it should be fast. It opens like 20 seconds. Okay, so like after you open it, you get here. Okay, so now we're making scenes. So you may ask why we need scenes in the game. So like when you open a game, you might see like a scene, like a background, and then you might see a start button. Then you might click on the start button, and then it goes to a main menu. So it changes to a different scene. So we will be working on how to change scenes from one scene to the next scene. So now what we'll be doing is to add a scene. So double click, create scene. Then you can name the scene art screen. And I think this should be in this. So okay, so like after you get here, you have two scenes now. This one is already provided for us. So now we'll be making a button. So like when we click on the button, it'll go to the next scene. So to create a button, you double click and then button. And now the button is too big. You double click on the canvas button and then resize this. Now we can resize the button. And then by click on this button, we can move it. We can put it in the center about here. Okay. Here now. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Okay, so like I'll make a button again. So like to make a button, double click on this, go to UI, click on the button, and then if it's like too much big, just double click and it'll resize. And then center it. And after we get here, now what we need to do is to add code to this. So like you go to event system, add component, new script, and then you can call this anything you want. Start screen. Let's call this. And you can create and add. Okay, sorry, my internet got kicked me out, so kind of. So can you guys see my screen still? Yeah, I didn't start yet. Yeah. Okay, so when you get to Visual Studio, oh wait, it didn't open yet. Okay, so you click on this the thing we just made, the component thing. After you click on it, then you go click open. Then it opens this Visual Studio code. And right here, you can make changes to the code. So first thing we're going to do is add one more library. It's going to be using Unity dot management. Okay. And now we'll remove this code. We'll make it by ourselves. Now what we're going to type is public void. And then let's name this thing start scene. So like after this, let's add brackets. And then in this, we're going to write scene. It's going to be a big line. So scene manager dot code scene and cease scene manager dot get active scene build index plus 1. So basically, oh wait, hold on, I forgot to do one step before this. So like if you go back to Unity here, when we made the two scenes, you have to go to file and build settings. and you click add open scene. Hold on. I don't know why it's not working. Oh yeah. So I had to click on this. Yeah, no. So now you I have. Okay, there we go. Now you go to the build settings, add open scene, and now it adds two scenes. So like the first scene is scene 0, the second scene is scene 1. So what we are doing in this code is that like this code, this part starting is telling you to get the scene that we are currently in plus 1. So we're in scene 0. So 0 plus 1 is 1. So it'll get the next scene. So we save this. Oh yeah, one more. I think forgot the semicolon. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh, now what? Oh yeah. Okay, now it's working. Okay. Now we click save. Now it just saves, loads. So okay, so now after we have done that, um, I think I'm missing something. Oh, okay. So yeah, so now we go sample scene. So like after this, click on the button, and after you get here, go to inspector. So like now scroll down, and in this place, click on this plus sign. So basically we're assigning. So now drag this event system into this, and then click on this, start screen, and then start scene. So we're calling that function we wrote. Okay. So now if we run this, it's all good. We run this, now we click on this button and it goes to the next scene. So it's working. So like now in the next scene you can add other stuff to it to show it's going to the next scene. So that's how you do it when you're creating games. So thank you.
Th- Thank you, Napoon. That was pretty cool. Jeffrey here again. You guys miss me? Probably not. But I'm here again. So thank you guys for showing us how to code the game. So the codes they showed the 4 main codes. These are the codes that we'll be using to program our game in RPG Part 3, where we finally put the sprites and the programming together to create our finished product. I can't wait to see you guys there. So does anyone have any questions before we close for today? Any questions? Any at all? Well, if not, then I guess we'll just end the stream. Until next time, see ya.